Okay, so welcome back to our class today. I'm happy to have all of you back. We are going to continue from where we stopped. So today is the last day we are going to be discussing introduction to data analytics. All these past three classes we've had, we've been discussing introduction to data analytics, introducing you to the different concepts, to the different theories, to mastering the Excel environments and all of that. So today we are going to be having the last lap of it. Then from next class, we are going to dive into the main thing, which is Excel properly, working with Excel formulas, functions, working with data sets, and a whole lot of other things. Then from there, we move to Power BI and then SQL. So let's go straight to what we have today. Last time we talked about the different form of the processes. Yeah, this is the processes we've discussed about data gathering, the different places we could gather data from. We talked about data cleaning, how we could clean our data. So today, I'd like to show you a practical example of this data cleaning. Then analyzing and visualizing data is actually what we didn't talk about. Even though I told you that analyzing data is um like the easiest part of the job than visualizing the data, because analyzing is like just sorting out the data. So analyzing and visualizing is actually the same thing. It involves mostly clicking of buttons and applying maybe formulas, using your DAX, using in your Power Query, connecting the tables if you need to connect tables, joining tables if you need to join table and all that. So we talked about gathering the data, we talk about different forms, we talk about data cleaning. So I want to actually portray on these three uh, basic rules of data cleaning. I want to show you how it works in real time. And then after that, but before we do that, or let's just go ahead and do it now so that we don't get to, let me go to Excel. My Excel is not open here. Okay, I think it is. Okay, so before we come back to this one, let me open another Excel file. I'll go to File, then I'm going to open a new file to my system order. Let's use this one. I just hope I have enough data. So I'm going to quickly explain those three rules of gathering data. So let's look at the first one here. You can see that the first one says each variable must form a column. So this is what it means when you say each variable must form a column. I've already explained this thing before. So here we have order ID, order ID. So this thing can also be called ID or order number. This is also called number, but I just prefer to call it ID. Then this is customer ID, just call it customer ID or customer number. So this is order ID. What that thing means that each column must contain the same, each column here, let me see. Okay, it says each variable must form a column. Each variable simply means a collection of data, a particular type of data. So this variable now here is the order ID. So this column must contain only order ID. I think I mentioned it the last time. So I just want to be repeating this thing so that it sticks to your mind. By the time we get into the actual thing, we don't have to be coming back to them. So this is customer ID, means everything inside this column will be customer ID only and nothing else, just customer ID in this column. It helps to maintain data accuracy and data integrity. So when you talk about data integrity, means you are maintaining the same type of data type. You're maintaining the same data type. That is when you talk about data integrity. So, but data accuracy means this is order ID, this is customer ID. So this order ID talks about each order that was placed at each time. You can see this is the first order that was placed that day. This is the second order that was placed that day. Now, customer ID talks about this is the first customer that came in that day. This is the second customer. This is so if I want to know who was the first customer that came into the shop that day, I'll just come here. I impute this order ID. When we do VLOOKUP, when we get to VLOOKUP, you're going to see how you can just use only this ID to fetch all this other information about this customer. So when you just input only this ID, it automatically generates all this other information of that customer at a glance. So this place is talking about customer's name. You're going to see only name of this customer. As you can see, it is properly structured and arranged. It is not scattered. If you come to this column here, you cannot find other ID here because other ID is not supposed to be in this column, but customer's name. If you come here, you're going to see only the gender, male, female, and any other type of gender that they identified with. Then city, you're just going to find. So you cannot see country here. You cannot come here and see USA because USA is not a city. So it's maintaining that accuracy. Each column is maintaining, each variable is stored in a column. Each variable you can see they are stored in a column. This is the phone numbers. Everything you can see here is phone number. Now you can see here that says loading. This is a dirty data. You need to fix it because this place is not supposed to contain this. So this can also be regarded as null or loading because this information is not so maybe it could be that when they were entering this data, this is maybe okay, maybe the way they collected this data was through a scanner. Like you notice sometimes when you go to a mall to buy something, they will just be scanning those things you bought. Once they scan that thing, the name of the item, the quantity you bought, the price of that item, the content of it, all of them will be generated from the system. Then they can use it to prepare your bill. So it could be that when they were entering this particular one, could be a network problem. It was just loading. Then it didn't finish loading before they now enter the next one and all that. So this is a problem, a data entry problem, and it has spoiled this our data. This data now is dirty, and you need to clean it. You need to actually clean it. That's what we are talking about, okay? So now, this is what they mean by each variable. All these things are variable. This quantity is variable. This price, these are different variables. They are stored in each column. This is how you maintain data accuracy, okay? I think that's it. You have really understood this one. This is like the third time I'm coming back to it. And now this is understood. The next one is each observation must form a row. Each observation must form a row. So when you're talking about Excel, you are talking about rows and column, right? You remember rows and columns. These are the columns. Each variable must form a column. So now the second rule is talking about rows. These are the rows. So it means that each row must be talking about the same thing. Everything in that row must be talking about just one thing. You can't be talking about two different things in a row. No. So this row one is talking about the column name, column headers. So everything in this first row is talking about column headers. Look at it, order ID, the name of the column, customer ID, name, gender, city. Everything. You cannot come here now and see customer's name, like the actual name of the customer. Even if you scroll to the end, all of them are talking about the name of like the header title, the column header. Then if you come to the second column, it is talking about order ID 101, the first order that was placed. Who placed the first order? Is this customer ID, customer with this ID. Who is this customer with this ID? It is this Landscape Fagen. This Langley Faden, is he a male or female? No, she's a female. Which city is this person from? From New York Metro. Where is New York Metro? In USA. Okay, how can we contact her? Look at her phone number here. Which day did this order happen? When did she place the order? Look at the dates. Okay, what did she buy? Product 8. How many of this product 8 did she buy? The quantity is there. How much is the price of each one? Look at it. So cost is 5. Cost price of each of the item is this. And this is how much they sold it to her. So this is how much uh, they bought it. This is how much they sold it to her. So that means they made profit of $3, right? From each one. So revenue is the calculation of the total quantity she bought, which is 23. Expenses. So every information in this first row is talking about this customer. You cannot come here now and see, maybe in this particular column, you now see male. Meanwhile, this person is female. Once it happens like that, it means your data is unclean. So each column here, so for the fact that we have how many total of how many columns? We have total of 502 columns. It means that we are talking about 501 customer, total of 501 customer, because this number one is the column title, right? So we start counting from 2. So it will be 502 minus 1 customer, which is 501. Do you understand, please? Can you let me know if you understand what I'm saying? So the first rule is that each variable must form a column, which we have explained. The second rule is that each row must form a unit of information. It must contain the information of a particular person. It is like that till the end. So now let's talk about the fourth rule, which you may not understand at the moment, but I'll try as much as possible to explain it in a way that you'll understand. Each observational unit must form a table. Each observational unit must form a table. Okay. So what it means is that this data here is actually unclean. This data here, if you obey that third rule, please, can you people hear me? Do you understand what I'm saying? Can I get your reaction, please? Can you hear me? Do you understand me? All right. Thank you, patience. So the third information says, but before I talk about that third one, let me teach you something else. Let me just quickly show you something you already know that is in our, this thing is in our slide. I think it's in the last slide. Let me go to the last slide that we have today. It talks about cell formatting. Is it cell formatting? No. I want to talk about this one. Working with multiple sheets. Working with multiple sheets. Let me explain this one first so that when we do the next thing we're going to do now, you'll understand. So working with multiple sheets in Excel allows you to organize, analyze, and manage data efficiently across different tabs within a single workbook. So we already know what workbook is, right? So this is a workbook, and we can have multiple sheets in a workbook. All right. So now, this is how to add. If you want to add workbook, this is what I want to explain to you here. This is what we can do, tips and tricks on working with multiple. We can add new workbook. We can add new worksheets, sorry. We can have multiple worksheets in a workbook. Then we can rename a sheet. I'm going to do all of these things once in this next part that I'm explaining now, in that third rule. You can add new worksheets. That is, when you open your Excel, that Excel they're opening is a workbook on its own. Then you can have different worksheets inside that one workbook. That is, you can add a new worksheet. This is number one. Number two here says you can rename your worksheets. You can move or copy your sheets. You can even delete a sheet. Then you can reference, okay, to reference data from one sheet to another. So you can be in another sheet and you reference data in another sheet. That is, if you're working, if you're working on a particular sheet, you may want to get information from another sheet to make it appear in the current sheet where you are. That is possible. And you can also group your sheets. So if you have a lot of sheets, different information in different sheets, and you want to work on all of them at the same time, you can do that. All right. So please understand this. So let's go back now so that we can visualize our data. So each observational unit must form a table. Now let me go to our table here. So what it means is that if you look at this table is having a lot of information. You have the customer ID, you have the customer order ID, you have the customer name, the gender, the city, all of this information. Then you come here, you now have the phone number of the customer, you have the date, the product. So once you get to this product, okay, just follow me. Let me show you what I'm trying to show you so that you'll understand. If you come here, you have the order ID. This order ID means it's relating to the order, right? So let me open a new sheet to explain this thing. So here we have order, then we have customer, then we have product. These are the three things we are talking about. So a customer will place an order for a product, right? So this is talking about order ID. This is talking about customer. So now we are talking about customer. From here to this place is the customer name, the customer gender, the customer city, the customer country, the customer's phone number, and then customer information has ended. This is where the customer information ended. Then the next information here is the order. Let's pick the order, the date the order was placed, the order. I think that is it. The order and the date it was placed. Then the product. No. Let's not put product. Then the profit that was made. These are the things that are under order, these three columns. It's talking about order. Then after that, the next thing we're talking about here is the product. The product that was bought, the quantity that was bought, the selling price, the cost price of the product, the revenue of the product, and then the expenses. No, the expenses and the profits. These two should be on the order. But let's put it in the product. It doesn't matter. So you can see that this table now contains three different observational units. The order is here, the customer is here, and then the product is here. Now, what that third rule is saying is that for your data to be clean, you must have one information in one table. You cannot have these three information in one table because it is going to slow down if you want to query this table now and quickly get information, it's going to slow down your analysis or something like that. So to make this thing now, to make this information, to make this table, this is how it is supposed to be. You're going to understand this better when we get to SQL, because the tables, you cannot store this thing like this in SQL. The table is going to this cannot work. You must separate them. So let's separate them now. So you see. So in separating them, let's create three more new sheets. So remember how to add a sheet. We say we can add a sheet. So we'll add a new one, we'll add another one, and then we'll add another one. So we want to call this one, and then we also say we can rename a sheet, right? So I'll just double tap and rename it. So let's call this one the customer. Let's call this one the customer table. Then let's call this one the product table. And then let's call this one the order table. So to rename, just double tap, you rename it. So this one now, let's call this one now the general table. All right, this is the general table. So what should be in the customers table? Let's come here and just rename this one. Let's rename this one as customers table. Let's call it here customers table. So I want this name now to span, like let me highlight this one. If I highlight this and I merge, you can see I've merged this table now. Like it is now a straight table. I can name it whatever I want. Let me call it customers table. You see what I used there? I used merge customers table. So I want it to be bigger. I'll just, bolden it. Let's make it 18. Good. So this is good. Where is it now? All right. Why is it not? Okay, merge cell. Just merge cell. All right. So let's bring it to, it's not giving me what I want. Okay, I want to wrap it. Let it be wrapped so that I'll know that whatever information I have here is here. Okay, now let me bring in customers table here. So I'll come here, I'll select all those things: customer ID, customer name, customer gender, customer city, customer country, customer's phone number. These are the informations. I'll just copy it and then bring it to the customers table. I want it to start from here. Then I'll just paste it here. I can choose a different way of pasting: transpose, formula, value, just paste. You can't paste this here because the copy and paste aren't the same size. Okay. It said it's not the same size. Why? Why? Okay, let me see again. Select just one cell. Okay. I think let's just take a sample though, since it's not gonna work. I need to select that exact number of cells. So let's just take a sample of it, which is 24. Cancel. So I'll copy this one. This is just 22, from 1 to 22. So if I paste it here, from 1 to 22. So it's going to be from 1 to 23. I didn't even count how many columns. I didn't count how many columns, but it's okay. So we have this here as a customer's, this is the customer's information. All right. Okay. So we can now call this the customers table. We are trying to clean the data because this data is unclean. For having all of this information in one place, it is very, very unclean. So let's copy the product information. This is the product name. This is the product quantity, the products, all of this. We just want to copy them. Oh, we can't copy all. We just copy from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then down to from 1 to 22. So I'll copy, bring it to the product table, paste it anywhere that I like. That's fine. Oh, I want it to be bigger. Okay. So this is our product table. So this is the typical way you store your your tables, right? You cannot have all of them joined together. And then the last one is what? Your order, the order table. So this is an order. Which product was ordered? Which quantity was ordered? You can even add just, randomly. Order table can contain everything about the order. So you want to know which product, you want to know the quantity, you want to know the price, you want to know the price. That is fine. That is okay. Then I copy. Then we come to our order table. We can paste it. We have to select. Uh, how do I select? Okay, let me just select a few, 3 up to 24. Then I'll come here, I'll paste it, I'll go back again. Let's copy order 24. Good, copy. Then I'll paste it here as the order ID. Great. So you can see we have been able to clean, just by doing this now, we have cleaned this data. So products ID, this is product number, call it product ID. Great. I don't know who is writing on the board. Whoever it is, please stop. You're writing so many things on the board and it's not nice. Please stop. So I don't know if you understand what we are doing. Now, this data now is more efficient, having them in separate tables like this, it's more efficient. You can, even if you store it, it's going to take lesser space, it's going to take lesser load time, and it will help you if you want to query the database and get any information you want. You know, even if you want to do it manually, let's say you want to do it manually, for example, and you want to get all the order that was placed by this person. Imagine going through, you have to go through one by one, you have to go through all of these 500 and before you get the information that you're looking for. But now, if you just want to get the information, maybe the name of the customer, a particular customer with order ID, something, you don't have to go through all of this information. You just go straight to the customer ID. It's now lesser, you have lesser data to work with. You can easily spot that particular customer and then get. So if you're working, for example, you're working for a company, if you're working for a company, so most of these companies that store their data in the cloud, they pay a lot of money to this cloud hosters, people that host like Microsoft, for example, they pay a lot of money. So if you want to access any information, they charge them per second each time you're on the database working. They're charging them. So imagine if you have a lot of data that takes a lot, like take hours to load just because you want to get information. Your company is going to be paying so much money just for you to query that database and get the info you want. But because you have splitted them like this, they are now lighter and they take lesser space. You're saving them costs. And on top of that, if you want to query any data, it will take you just a couple of seconds to get any information you want and then get out of that database and saving your company a lot of money. So this is more efficient. This is the proper way that data storage works. That is why in that third, what is it called? In this third one that says, what does it say? Each observational unit must form a table. So customer is an observational unit. You're observing just the customer's information. The product is an observational table. You're observing the product that was bought. Then probably that product table contains all the products in that shop, right? Okay, Mr. You can go ahead, Mr. Success. Please unmute.
Well done, sir.
All right.
Please, can you go back to the customer details on the table?
Okay, we are there. Can you see it?
Yeah, it's loud. Yeah, okay. This particular phone number that you made mention, is it that when you don't have any data for the phone number, you are going to leave it as loading, or you are just going to leave it null, as you said?
Okay, now that's a good question. This person, like I explained, a lot of, this data was collected. It could be that it was either scanned or imputed manually by a data entry clerk. So this could be a problem. Maybe if it was entered electronically using a scanner. So the scanner may still be loading when the next data came in and it was captured as loading. Do you understand? So this is wrong. You don't enter what must be here must be a phone number. Everything here must be a phone number. Loading, once anything that is not a phone number, even if it's a number, like normal number, I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's not a phone number, it is wrong. It is dirty. It makes your work dirty because imagine if you're supposed to count the total number of phone numbers you have here, you're going to count this one inclusive, and that's going to be wrong. So the right thing to do, we'll get to that when we get to data cleaning, maybe with Power BI, then we'll know how to handle this kind of errors, okay? But this is
Okay,
an
thank you, sir.
error. It is the data is not clean like this. It's wrong. You need to handle it. You need to do something to it. Do you understand?
Yeah, thank you, sir.
So this is it about that third rule that each information must form an observational unit. This is what they are talking about here. So you get to understand this better when we get to SQL, okay? So don't waste much time on it, but I just needed to let you know so that when we get to something like foreign keys and table relationship, foreign keys and primary keys, you really appreciate this particular thing better. Okay, so let's now go back. So I've treated many things. I treated how to navigate your self-format, sorry, sheets, how to create new sheets. Imagine if we have another sheet here and we don't really need it. We realize that we don't need sheet 5. This is how to actually delete. I'll just come here and click on delete. It is gone. So how to work on multiple sheets at the same time. Let's say I want to add another information down here and I want it to cut across to also apply to this place also. So what I'll do, I'll come to this one and then I'll click on control. I just click down on control. Select this one and select this one. The 3 sheets are now selected. So whatever I write here, maybe I write 1, 2, 3 here. Then I write Chris. I want to put this information here. All right, Chris. Then I put male, of course. I'm a male. Then I'm from Nigeria. I put Nigeria. Then, sorry, I'm from Abuja. I'm in Abuja. Then here is Nigeria. And then the phone number is maybe 234. Then whatever. So this information, I entered it in the customers table. Then if you go to product table, you're going to see it there. So if you go, please unmute yourself. I think I muted everybody. Mute all. All right.
So begin to upload the sheet. Begin to upload the sheet.
I don't know where this guy is coming from. Can see him here. So let's continue. So can you see what happened? This is how to work on multiple sheets. If you open other sheets, it's still there, all of them. This information, this is why I typed it, but it is in all the sheets because I selected all of them by pressing Control. So this happens most times when you are working, when you're multitasking, you want to enter information on 3 sheets at the same time or multiple sheets. You can even be up to 20 different sheets. Just highlight all of them. Whatever you type in one will be entered. Don't want to come and start entering all of them one by one. You just enter it multiple times, but you rarely have this kind of case, okay? Because if you have to have different sheets, it means you have to enter different information in them. All right, so, but I just wanted to show you that it's possible. So I'll just clean it. So let's see. You know, it is still selected, so it has clean in all of them because it's still selected. So now I will unselect it. I've unselected them by pressing Control and then selecting them. So we've talked about all of that. Do you people understand what I did here in this explanation that I did here? Please let me understand if you understand what I did, or do I need to proceed or come again? Please let me know. Did you understand that third rule that says each information must? All right. All right. All right. All right. So what I explained here is that I don't know. This guy, are you using Juju? Because I muted everything. I muted everybody. Okay, you don't understand. Let me come again. I muted everybody, and this guy is still able to talk. Some people are using Juju in this meeting. I've muted everybody again. So let's see. Now, what I'm trying to say in that, let's read it together. Let's read it together. It says, this third one, each observational unit must form a table. Let's break it down. It means that each information you're looking at must form a table. So, okay, let me use a different example now. Let me use a different example. Let's not use data sets. Let's say you have let's even use the one that we did yesterday. Look at this one that we filled. So this information now, we can break this information down to, this is the student's name, the student level, the student age, the location. Okay, no. Let's say we have this information. Let's enter this information. We have the customer ID. This will take a lot of time. That's the problem. So we'll have the name, customer's name. Then we'll have the customer's country. Then we'll have the customer's maybe email. All right. Then we'll have the product that the customer bought. Then we'll have the quantity that he bought. Then the price of the product. Sorry. Then we'll have the price of the product. Then we have the quantity they bought. Then we have of course, the order that you placed an order. And then we have the order ID. This is the order ID. Let me do it this way. Then the date that the order was placed. All right. So let's say the customer ID is customer 101. Then we'll have customer 102. Then we'll have customer 103. So let's bear with everybody, okay? I just want everybody to understand. Then we'll have Chris. We'll have Precious. We have Anita. Then we'll have USA. We'll have Nigeria. We'll have Ghana. Then here we'll have the email of the person, whatever, at gmail.com. So this one is P, just bear with me. Then this one is P. Then the product they bought, this guy bought laptop. This Anita bought phone, Precious bought phone. Then this person bought iPad. Then the quantity they bought is 1. This person bought 2. This person bought 3. The price is $4,000. This person bought his own for $2,000. And this person bought their own for $3,399. Then the other ID is OD. The other ID is OD. It's OR12. Then OR1003. Good. So the dates, whatever dates, let me just use these as dates. Don't mind me. It's wrong. I know. So this is what he's saying. All this information is too big. It shouldn't be in one table. This is just one table. All right. So he wants us to separate this table. That is what that observation, each observation, let's now, by separating this table, let's start with the customer. Let's observe the customer alone. So what is, by looking at, now this has no format of doing it. Like just with your instinct, you can look at the data set and say, okay, this data should be like this. Everything about here, this is the customer name, country, email. Okay, that is it. This is the customer name. I'll copy this, I'll collect this one and put it in a table called the customer table. So let's call this one the customers table. So when you're working with SQL, when you're working on customers table, you will not be seeing any other table again. It's not like here that we are seeing all the tables together because I'm doing this in one sheet. Once you're working on customer, the only table you'll be seeing is customers table. If you start to work on the next table, so the next table now will be which table? It will be the product. This is the product that was, but this is the quantity that was, but this is the price. I'll copy it and put in another table. This is called the product table. The product table. Then the next one is the order. This is the order, the date it was ordered. I'll copy it and put in another table called the order table. Great. So I have different tables now. This is the product table, the order table. So this table is now separated. I've now everything. This is an observation here. When you're talking about this table, you're observing only the customer's information. Now, you remember that each of these tables, they have connection. Oh, you remember they were in the same table before, but now they are in different tables. So there has to be something linking them. Like this table now, what will be linking this table will be the customer ID plus. In this table now, there will be another column here called customer ID. In this column, it will be called customer ID. customer ID. Now, this is how it's going to look like. It is going to be like customer 1001, customer 1001, customer 1002. So this place has customer ID. This place has customer ID, this product table. So you begin to ask me now, but you said each table should not contain something else that doesn't belong. It should only be like this product table should only contain product information. So what is customer ID doing here? So when we get to table relationship, maybe by next week or next 2 weeks, you're going to understand the only way. You remember that all these tables, they are in the same table, they are the same family. But now that you separated them, it's just like you now. If you live, you belong to your family, you have your family name, right? Even if you travel to Canada, wherever you are, the only thing that, even though you are separated from your family, but what is still keeping you together is that your family name that you're bearing. So that family name still connects you to your family. It still identifies you with your family, right? So even though this table is disconnected, there must have to be a family name called key, foreign key, and primary key. So in this table now, this customer's ID is the primary key. But when you come here, it is the foreign key. But let me not bore you with that. Let me not spoil everything with that. We'll get to that point when you understand how they are connected. But this is what I want you to know, that for you to maintain a clean data, you must separate this table. They cannot be together. If they are together, it is not clean because you have all these things mixed together. It is not efficient. You are not going to be doing a good job. Even in the storage, if you store this information like this, it will take more than it will take more space that is needed than that is needed or than that is necessary. It will take a lot of space. It is not healthy. So when you separate them like this, imagine small unit like this. When you want to query any of them, you can easily come here and find the information you need instead of having to go through all these plenty tables here just to find the information you need. So that is what that place is saying. Each observational unit must form a table. This is a table. This is a table. So that is what I try to explain in that bigger table that we have here. That this big table now that has all this information is actually wrong because you have all of these things, both the customer information, the order information, the product information, all in one table. So to maintain a good data integrity, you must separate them, pick all the customer information and put them in a table, pick all the product information and have them in a table, pick all the other information and have them in a table. So if you want to save this information now, you're going to store these three tables with these three names, and this is not going to fly. This one goes. So this one is dirty, but here you have cleaned them by separating them. So let's just take it like that. We'll go deeper when we go further, okay? Please, do you understand? Those of you that didn't understand it before, do you understand now? Okay, please ask your question, Desire. Raise your hand so that I can unmute you. So Desire, you need to raise your hand. Hello, Desire, please raise your hand. Okay. Desire, please go ahead and talk. Unmute yourself. You can speak. You can speak. I've unmuted you. Okay, Desire, go on. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I was trying to get there was something you said when you're trying to say if you want to type in a particular spreadsheet and you want it to be a particular sheet, I really did not get
Your network is so bad, Desire. We can't hear you. Kiki, do you have a question? Desire, you can type your question. Just type it because your network is bad. It's breaking. Just type it and I'll read it. I'll read it out. Kiki, do you have a question? Someone raised their hands up. Okay. So let's continue if everybody is fine. I think everybody is fine. So we're now understood. Please let me know. Success, go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Sir, the question I have is regarding this data cleaning.
Mm.
So basically, when a data is given to you, does it necessarily have to undergo through that process of separation before it can actually have a real
No, no,
definition
no,
of
no, no, no,
integrity,
no.
or
No, no,
it
no, no,
depends
it
on the kind
doesn't
of
have
data?
to.
Okay.
We have not gotten to actual data cleaning. When we get to Power Query in Power BI, we'll do proper data cleaning. I'm just explaining this third rule here. So most of the data that will be given to you will be in different tables already before they give it to you. The data set that will be given to you will already be in different table. I'm just trying to explain how they get that different table that they will give to you. It was maybe formally in one table, or during the collection, they collected it separately, but they will give you
Okay.
data in different table. But if they give you all the data in one table, then you should know how to work with them when you get to, we'll get to that when we get to Power Query. But it is not more that when they give you data to clean, you start separating them first. Most of the times, if you're getting data from SQL, it is already separated because you're not the one that is in charge of storing those data. It is the data engineer. The data engineer will be the one to separate them, store them. So your own is just come there and query them. So, but you need to understand all of these basics so that you know, in case they don't give you data that is not separated, you know that this should be separated, unless they now tell you, okay, go ahead and work with it like that. Then your Power BI knows how to separate them and split them into different columns, and then you work with them like that. So, but in fact, before you even move your data into Power BI, they will be in separate table, because immediately you move you move data into Power BI, the first thing that Power BI does is look at the data you're bringing in and check all the relationship and connect them by itself. He will be the one to automatically join them together, like through, it's called data modeling. We'll get to Power BI, we'll explain it better. So it will try as much as possible to try to connect them for you to be able to work with them, because if it's not connected through primary keys and foreign keys, then it will not be able to, you'll not be able to analyze that data. Okay. So let's continue. I think everybody is okay now. So let's continue now. Let's go to what we have today. Data cleaning. So now that we understand these three rules, I needed to touch on it before we can proceed. So let's talk about data. We've talked about data type. Let's talk about this one. Data analyzing data and visualization. So this is the third part. Remember, the first one we talked about was what? Gathering the data. The second one was what? Cleaning the data. Then the third one is, which is the final one, is analyzing the data. Analyzing and visualizing is the same thing, because when you're analyzing, you are also visualizing. So it has been established that the most effective way to communicate insight is through visuals. So your stakeholder, like I told you the other day, that your CEO, Dangote right now cannot, if you're the data analyst in Dangote refinery or like Dangote cement, he come, and when they sit down, Dangote doesn't care about numbers. He's interested in numbers anyway, but he doesn't want to come and start tracing Excel with you to come and say, okay, this thing, this is the day, this is the time. No, he just wants to see the data at a glance. Total of how many cement did we sell today? How many bags of cement was sold today? You just want to see figure, like the exact figure represented in a chart boldly. So at a glance, you can see that we sold 5 billion bags of cement today. This is how much was realized for that 5 billion of cement, 5 billion pieces of cement. He wants to see it at a glance. How much is the profit we made from selling that 5 billion bags of cement? He wants to see it at a glance. But if you were showing that in an Excel, it would have been in a row. Like you will have had the information in a row, right? So, but Dangote cannot come and start to follow you to trace row. Okay, this today, this is no, no, no. He just wants to sit down there and look at the picture in charts, visuals. It could be in charts, it could be in numbers, it could be in maps and all of that. So he also wants to see, okay, those 5 billion pieces of bags of cement, which places was it delivered to, which of our retailers or wholesalers was it delivered to. You can now use map to show all the region that cements were sent to. So they are interested. The best way to communicate your insight is through visuals instead of just words and numbers. After data cleaning, the next thing is to try to analyze your data using different tools. I think we've mentioned those tools. Then during our after analysis, the insight or finding needs to be communicated to the stakeholders, who is Dangote and the owner of the company or your manager. So your job is just to analyze data and visualize it. You don't really have you cannot make informed decision. You cannot make decision for the company, right? So your job is just to analyze it and tell them, okay, CEO, today I discovered I've just analyzed that we sold 5,000 bags of cement. And this is where those cements were sold. Maybe in Lagos, we sold we sold 3,000 in Lagos, we sold 500 in Ogun State, we sold 200 in Enugu. So you just bring out those informations, then you now tell them, okay, yes, this is how much was realized, this is all of that. You analyze the whole data into pieces and they'll be able to see it. Then you can now go ahead to recommend to them, okay, the reason why yesterday we sold 10,000 bags, but today we sold 5,000 bags, which is a drop. So why did it happen? Maybe we did not market so well, or maybe, there are reasons, or maybe it was due to the weather. The weather was, or people were not building or something. Now, this is what we can do to improve or to avoid this kind of thing, because selling 10,000 yesterday and selling 5,000 today is a bad market, right? So your own is just to analyze and recommend. You're not leaving it to the stakeholders to make their decision to implement. They will now implement what you have analyzed. You've done your own job. You get. So visuals, including but not limited to charts, graph, maps, are most effective way to communicate. These are different ways that you analyze. During your analysis, these are the tools, the different things you're using. You're using graphs, you're using numbers, you're using charts, you're using visuals, and you're using map. We'll get to all of this, and I'm just trying to, water the ground for you. So what are the tools? I think we've mentioned these tools already. We've talked about them, but I just wanted to repeat them. I planned on showing you how to install show you these tools online, how to use them online, but I'll try my best to I think we'll have just a few minutes, about 25 minutes, but let's try. So we already know that the basic tool for data analysis is, number one, your spreadsheets, which is the Excel that we are talking about. Your spreadsheets, your Microsoft Excel, your Google Sheets, and then your Apple numbers. So for those Apple users, it's called Apple numbers. Then you have your Microsoft Excel and Google Sheets. So this Excel and Google Sheet, they are just spreadsheets for viewing your data. Just the only thing they are good for is just the way we are viewing data like this. So after this one, nothing else apart from the calculations. What is this one? Okay. Apart from the calculation, where is that Excel file here? So it's just this spreadsheet. There's nothing else you can use it for except from calculation. If you want to add a new column now, you can let's delete this column. You can use it to, add column and all of this. Nothing else. And this Excel has so much limitation. This Excel has limitation because it can only store 1 million. Look at the number of this in the Excel can store just 1,487,000. So only 1 million cell, and you can have hundreds of millions of data coming in every day. So once it gets to this 1 million, this point, it will stop. It can no longer take data. The highest thing you can do is to create a new sheet and start from beginning again, which doesn't make a lot of sense. You get? So Excel has limitation in storage. Number one, it doesn't store data. It is just a spreadsheet and not a storage. It's not a database, all right? And it has limitation of storage. And that is where the next two come in, which is what? Your SQL, your database. Because Excel is not a database, it's just a spreadsheet. Even these Google Sheets, these are just spreadsheets. So your database, which is your Postgre or your MySQL, these are different databases that you're going to be using in this program. Then the visualization, of course, like I told you, this is now where you create your picture, your business intelligence tool. This is now where you find those charts, even though it's in Excel. So you can also use Excel to create. We are going to create a dashboard using Excel when we get to pivot table. But for now, the most suitable way to create your visual is on Power BI, your Google Looker Studio, or your Tableau. Then, of course, Python and R for programming. So when you get to Python, when you do Python, everything that Excel, this one and this one, everything that they can do, Python will do all of it. You don't need all of this again. Like when you start doing Python, you're going to install something called Anaconda, even though it's not in the scope of this program. I'm just telling you that for data science, if you want to do data science, that's when you talk about Python and R. All right. But your own scope is just these three that you're going to cover. Meanwhile, this one is very, very broad. For you to do Python, like you have to take a couple of months, up to 4 to 6 months to do it if you want to really do it and learn it very properly and start using it for data science. But this is data analytics and not data science. So, but I just want to briefly tell you, in case you get to that stage and you decide to do it maybe after this class, Python, there's something we call Anaconda in Python. That Anaconda has so many libraries that has everything that Excel, data, SQL, and all these things that you can do. This thing can do it, all of them. So when you begin to use Python, you don't even have to, you just forget about Excel forever. You never use Excel, you never use all of these ones and all that, okay? So a lot of people shy away from Excel. They don't take Excel serious, but as a beginner like this, your most powerful tool that you need to learn very well and master is Excel or Google Sheet, all of that. I'll open them right now to show you how they look. We're already in Excel and you already know almost everything about Excel. So once you master Excel, it's going to help you to master like this Google Sheet. Now let's go to Google Sheet. Let me show you how it looks. We already know Excel, right? We already seen how Excel looks. So let me open a new. So this is how your Google Sheet looks. If you just come to your Google like this, your Chrome browser, you already have a Google account. So you come to this place that says Google Apps. So when you open here, you're going to see all the whole apps that Google has. They are all given to you here, but for free, absolutely free. You're not paying for them. It is called the Google Suite. Like it's a suite. It comprises of, this is your account. This is your Google search, which is here that we are. Then your map, then YouTube, all these things are owned by Google. All of these apps are owned by Google. Your email, all your Gmail account, they are here. Your Meets. So we can also use just the same way we're using Zoom. We can create this one. You can also create charts in your office, then your contacts, your drive. This is where you're going to be saving your information, your calendar, your play, all of this thing translate. So this is Docs and this is Sheets. So this is like your Microsoft, Word. Then this one is your sheet, like your Excel, the same thing like Excel. So you can open it just by clicking on it, or you can open a new tab and just type Google Sheets. Just type Google Sheets. It will take you to Google Sheets. To take you to Sheets. The same place that the other one will take you. Just click on this one. It will bring you to Sheets. But let us use this one here because I like using this one. You just click on it. Once you click on it, it's going to open. So you can see it's almost the same thing with Excel, the same way. Look at all the information that we had before. Then you can click here, new one, blank one, or start from a new one. You can see the same cell. You can see here is column. This is cells, just the same way Excel is, right? You can see. So this is what cell. Let's name it. This is cell what B4, right? This is cell C4. This is what cell C9. The same way, nothing, no different. The same file, edit, view, insert, format, data. You see, all of them, the same ribbon. If you click on data, it's going to bring all the information here. The same thing. So it is practically the same thing. The same way you use Excel is the same way you can use. But this one, the only difference is that this one is online. You need to have data to use this one, but this Excel is normal. So also, if you don't have Excel, you don't know how to, like you don't have Excel in your system, Excel 2021 or even 2024. So you can just use Microsoft 360. just come here. It's still the same thing as Excel. So you can use this Microsoft Excel online. It is called Microsoft 365, sorry. So if you come here, just click on this one. It's going to require you to create an account anyway. But you can log in with your Google account. It's still the same thing. It's going to work. So you can always use all these ones. They are all free of charge. You don't need to pay money. And it is online. That is really different with the normal one you have on your desktop. This one is online. You need to have data to be able to access it. So when you come here, it's going to prompt you to create an account, maybe a student account or a normal account. So you just create your account and you use it. So I wouldn't be creating an account. It's prompting me to go and do some verification in my system, but I won't be doing all of that so that I won't waste our time. So this is how you access it. So when we also get to Power BI, I will also show you how to download it. I'm just showing you how to use Excel, how to download it and all of that. I think I've shown you how to download Excel already, but I'm just showing you how to use the online version in case you don't have this one in your system yet or it's not working. You can always use the online versions. So when we get to SQL, I'm going to walk you through how to get it, both the online version and the desktop version. Then when we get to Power BI, I'm going to show you how to get both the online version and the offline version. So this is it about Excel and the installation. All right. So if you have any problem installing it, always reach out to me and then we'll sort that out. Working with multiple sheets, I think we've covered this one while trying to teach you the other one. So thank God we're able to do it. So I also wanted us to touch basic formulas and function, all this one, but our time is almost up already. Maybe in our next class, we'll just start from here straight up. So we've been able to cover all the essential, all like the beginning, the essential, the basics, the introduction to data analytics. So you understand everything, the concepts, all the things you need to know, the tools you need to work with, and all of that. So what do you guys think? Should we continue here or should we stop and then start from here and other formulas from our next class? I want to get your suggestion. If you want us to stop, if you want us to continue, I'll do. Okay, yes, you can. Kiki is asking to separate the table. Do I need to perform copy and paste? Or what command do I do? Yeah, sure, you can copy and paste. It works. Whatever works for you is okay. So we can copy and paste, of course. Yeah, sure. So all of you want us to stop. I know you're all tired. I know. Okay, that's fine. So we'll stop here for today. Then next week we'll just start from the functions and then we'll start working with data and all of that. So at this point, we're going to be taking questions. If you have your questions, you just raise your hands and then I'll mute you. Then you can talk. So please, let's have your questions, okay? Yeah, we continue next time. Still having problem with downloading Microsoft. Okay, no problem. I will, Barno, Isaac, I'll reach out to you or just send me a hi in the group so that I'll be able to, yeah, Marco, please go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Yeah, how are
Okay,
you?
I just wanted to commend you. Thank you so much for putting us through so far.
You're
At least
welcome.
we've gotten the basics, what we needed, what we need to um understand the basics of data analytics.
Yes,
And I believe by God's grace, next section we delve into the use of those tools and how to use it to analyze proper data and real world data.
yes, sure.
Thank you, sir.
You're
Mm,
welcome. Okay.
mm.
Okay. So do we have questions? Let's get your questions and I also have a challenge installing Microsoft. Okay, no problem. Keep sending error message. No problem. I think that particular installation was early this year or so. So I'll do a recent one and then maybe send it to the group. All right. So if you have your questions, let's have your questions. Just raise your hands so we can take your questions. Yeah, Raphael, please go on.
Sir, please, I wanted to know if, let's say, I want to add up, let's say, a product price and the quantity. Can the Excel help me do the calculation horizontally, or it just has to, let's say, add only all the product prices? I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
You want to do what?
If I want to add let's say, a product price and a quantity to get the total amount.
Okay, here now, you want us to have amount.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay.
Please, how do I go about it?
So you want to have an amount for each of these cells, right? For each of the row.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
So what you need to just come here. This is part of the thing that we'll be doing from next class, but let's just quickly do it.
Okay.
So you want to perform a calculation. It is different from when you want to perform the total profit that was made. If you want to perform the total profit that was made, you just do a summation of this one, but you want to create another column entirely. So you come here, you do equal to. When you do equal to, then what you want to do is summation. Since you want to add the price and the quantity, you don't want to add them, you want to multiply them.
Yes, please.
All right, so what you want to do is okay. What I think it's addition. No, it's not addition, it's not summation, multiplication. So alternatively, you can just click on this one. Then you want to do multiplication. Then you click on this one. And then they should be in a bracket, I think. Yeah. Let's put them in a bracket. Then if you click on enter, it has calculated that for you. It has done 8 times 5. Now, Excel has seen what you did. It has seen what you did. So you don't need to do it again for other ones. All you need to do is just to come here. You either drag, if you drag it down, it does other ones for you automatically. If you come here and double tap 1, 2, it will stop here, but let me undo this one. So I want you to do for all of them. I'll come here and double tap 1, 2. It will automatically do for all of them. So here you have 1. You have 1 because the product here is 2 times 0 times half, which is 1. Here is 12. Here is 2 because 2 times 1 is 2. Here is 40 because 8 times 5 is 40. So till you get to the last one, it will populate all of them for you like that. So that's how it does it.
Thank you.
Excel will do it for you. So I also want us to show you in that analyze. This is basically what analyze is. So let's say I wanted to do, let me highlight everything. Control Shift. Okay, great. So I go to insert. Let me go to pivot table and quickly show you something. So this is a pivot table. So let's say I just wanted to see at a glance the total profit that was made, the total sales, selling price, or let me say profit, total profit that was made from all the product, each of the products. I want to see the total profit. So I'll put this one in products, then I'll come here and put profit. So you can see at a glance, we can see for product 1, this is the profit that was made. For product 10, this is the profit that was made for each of the products. But your manager cannot come here and be following you to trace that product 1 made this thing. The numbers are just, so instead of doing this, all you need to do is just to put this in a visual by coming to charts and then bringing your visual. Come here. So at a glance now, you can see that, okay, product 1 has made the highest profits, followed by product, yeah, you can see, followed by product 2, then followed by product 3, then product 7. So the one that is making the least profit is what? The product 9. With this glance now, at a glance, you can see this, even without being told, like charts. Chart is just the best way to represent your product. So if you show this to your manager and they already, at a glance, they already know, then you can now begin to recommend, okay, product 9 is not really selling well. So why? Why is it not selling well? Is it that people don't like it, or what is the problem? And all that. So product 1 is doing so well. Okay, great. So how do we even do whatever is happening here? How do we apply it to product 9 to start making sales as well? So this is part of analysis, and this is analysis through visualization. All right. So you can actually get a different information from here. You can, okay, let's say we want to also get, keep this graph. We also want to get maybe we want to get the city. Maybe the city that's giving us the highest revenue. Did we check city? Other dates, phone number, expenses. It's like I didn't copy all of them. There's some things I'm missing out. Oh, see, I didn't copy all this information. That is why. So I'm only analyzing for these ones that I copied. So that's why I wanted to check the country that's giving us the highest revenue, so that we can know which country whether if I'm even making any sale in Ghana or not, and all that. But unfortunately, I didn't copy it in here, and our time is already off. So maybe in our next class, we'll also touch on that, okay? But do you understand, Mr. Philip? You understand what I explained to you? All right, someone was raising their hands up. Can I see? Yeah. Mr. Philip, you still have question? Oh, okay. All right. Any question? Or can we call it a day already? All right, Mr. Philip, go ahead. All right. So in the absence of more questions, I think it's been nice having you. Thank you. See you again on Saturday. Good night and bye.